Oh, hello to you, Lucas, because
Hey,
nobody's watching us yet
that's okay.
because we
Well,
just started.
we just started, but happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday to you as well. And Thursday means that it's time for another game club discussion because that's what that means, that it's Thursday, even though we have not been consistently doing this in quite some time.
Yeah, we kind of took a couple months, and that's okay. Um, we've been busy with quarantine and book club and all sorts of other stuffs, and I think
Tyler's watching.
what's up? I'm gonna share it to my friends.
Ooh, yeah, do that. Do that. Well,
Share
and
it to my
Rachel's here.
story.
Woo!
Share it to my story.
Welcome back to Game Club.
Yeah, it feels good. I will say, and I'll preface this, I because we're doing a lot of stuff in book club, I wasn't able to put in as much time on this game as I wanted. But yeah, but
I've
welcome
put
back,
in
everybody.
quite some time on this game, but it has, I've now is one of those games that I pick it up and play every so often. But that being said, I can't think of a better game to unearth game club discussion than Hades. It's the talk of the town right now, still.
It's still the talk of the town. So I can't remember which game we had pegged as our game of the month a couple months ago, and I was in our Discord. We have one of those. It's still alive, but I was like, whatever about this month's game, and like I think it was Mike was like, I'm playing Hades, and then someone else jumped in. It was like, I'm also playing Hades, and then like three more people piled on. It was like, we're playing Hades too, and I was like, well, we should have just played
We
Hades.
should have just done Hades, but we can't because Lucas needed it to come out in physical
I
version.
need so you're absolutely right. That is what prompted this was it so between that time and I forget it was kind of like late summer, right? That this came out, and it came out on PC, I think exclusively at first. I don't think it had Mac OS at the time, but everyone was playing on PC, and I was like, man, everyone's talking about Hades. I love the Switch, and I love
Everett.
collecting stuff for like physical copies of the Switch. And then Hades got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it got like I don't know how many games of the year it garnered, but I mean one of the big
I
ones.
feel like it's still going.
It's still going, but like it got IGN's game of the year, and for this little studio to get IGN's game of the year was like, okay, they're going to bring it out for Switch physical, and they did. So yes, that's what kind of prompted this. It's like, ooh, I can finally get my copy of Hades and play it.
Yeah, and it's we say it's a little studio, but the games that they put out have all been sort of highly renowned. You got Bastion and Transistor and some other ones, but those are the big ones.
Was
But
it Super Giant? Is
Super
that
Giant, yeah,
Yeah, so I remember when Bastion came out, and that one was it's kind of like a isometric. I think they specialize in isometric, right? And it was the whole thing was like no matter what you did, it was narrated. So like it was like the boy took the sword and he did this, and the boy did this, and so your every move you do is narrated, and it was kind of cool. I didn't get into it, um, as
I
I
am.
own it in some form.
I have not played Bastion or Transistor. However, they are very cheap right now on
They're
the
cheap.
Switch eShop.
Oh
They're
yeah, are
like
they on
there's a
sale?
sale right now. They're like $2 and $3 a piece. I feel like, and I might have to get both. But this is the first of the Supergiant games that I've played. But you know me, I am a sucker for the roguelite genre. Like I pretty much play as much as I can get my hands on. And Hades Hades when they came out, and I had seen it on Steam, and I've added it to my wish list, and they're like, it's coming out on Switch too, and I was like, that's cool. Um, and it just like it scratched a kind of itch for the roguelite genre that I didn't even know needed to be scratched because like it's not just it's what they do so cleverly, and this has been said in many of a review and discussion and all that about Hades already, is that they managed to make the gameplay loop meaningful. Like it's not
Yes.
like you just like you're playing Dead Cells and you die and you come back and maybe you got some upgrades that you can invest in. There's the most amount of voiceover dialogue that I have ever seen in a game, and that includes like RPGs. But
Fallout stuff.
yeah, it's just like got so much like character and story, and like dying and coming back is part of the journey. And I know this has been said a lot, but like that to me was like an extra layer on top of the whole like play, die, repeat. Like Tyler says,
Yep. Did I lose your audio? I'm the only one in the show.
yeah, that was weird.
Adam, you dipped out.
Yeah, I have
Me
this
by my lonesome.
I have this button on the side of my mouse that I accidentally clicked, and it sent me backwards. So I'm back, but like Tyler said, it was almost a joy to go back and talk to all your friends and get stronger. And you have your various things that you can invest in, both cosmetic stuff or like upgrades and stuff like that. And everybody's got to add to the story. And then you go out and you do it again, but you can do it with a different weapon, and you unlock the weapons. And depending on whether you've beaten it yet, you can play with and just the normal difficulty. But there's a little like purple glow around weapons a certain weapon every time, and that one gives you more of the tiers, I think. If you play with it, you get like a little bonus for
trying that one, so it's incentivizing you to try it out.
Yeah, and we can talk about like our favorite weapons and our favorite things in the game. Lucas, you were a latecomer to Hades.
I was very late.
In general, what do you think about it?
I think it's this studio, Supergiant. So I went to their website. So there's one other game that I don't know much about, but it looks really cool. It's called Pyre, Pyre, and it's a team-based RPG. Whoever Supergiant has employed as artists, pay those people super well, because all of their games, and Transistor has an awesome like sci-fi techno feel. Bastion's got a great Zelda kind of classic, and this is obviously like its own just awesome, beautiful art. Like I love the characters. I love all the character models, and like
they made the underworld sexy.
It did. So I like this game. The roguelite is not my genre, and I don't like hard stuff. I'm a weakling when it comes to difficulty. So Michael Thaxton, thank you for telling me about God mode, because I definitely got stuck multiple times. So and you guys probably hit the same walls. There was the Meg wall at first, or no, I take that back. First, there was the bomb throwing skeleton guys or whatever they are. I got stuck there for like what felt like forever, and then I finally broke free of that. And it's like, okay, great, I'm making progress. And then it's like you'll hit that wall, and then once you hit that wall, you make pretty good progress, but then you hit the other wall. And so the other wall was Meg, and I got stuck there until I changed to the shield. And is it the Aegis shield?
Captain America shield.
It's the Captain America shield. And I think I found my weapon, at least for the time being. I really love the shield. And so I finally was able to get past Meg, and then I kept getting stuck like in the middle of the fiery world, and I'm doing all these places a disservice.
So was it the second
world? Yeah, so, I don't know. It's like isosceles or something.
Yeah, but they're all named after triangles.
Yeah, something like that. So and to your point, Adam, I really love the progression of the story. It made me almost, you don't want to die, right? But like, you're not going to see more of the story or the character development until you die, and so you go talk to everybody or give them gifts or unlock stuff like that. So yeah, it's a really, like, I see where all the accolades come from. I'm glad that there's a God mode, because I really want to know more about the story, because I love the mythology, and it made me want to jump back into, just go back and read all this mythology that I know they're bending some stuff here probably, but
for sure.
But man, the character design, the voice acting, the level design, everything is just top notch.
It truly is, and it just feels good to play. Like, it's super smooth. We're playing it on the Switch, which isn't, it's not the strongest piece of hardware, but it handles the Hades incredibly well. and it just feels nice. It feels good to play. I had a few sticking points when I was playing pretty much 24 hours a day. And but I feel like in terms of the roguelite genre, those are by design. Like you're meant to like sort of hit a wall and then like you know get over the wall, or you get good enough skill wise to sort of learn the enemy patterns. But the thing about dying in Hades is that obviously you feel disappointed when you die and you're like, ah, but then
I know,
you come
you're
out
like,
of that little they come out of that little liquid water pool or
it's
whatever.
Jello.
The jello. You come out
Jello.
of the jello,
Jello.
and but all of a sudden, but there's like, oh, I'm kind of excited to be back here so that I
Mhm.
can do this and this and this. Like I've been playing One Step from Eden, which is kind of a Slay the Spire meets Mega Man Battle Network.
Hmm.
Yeah, put that one together. Roguelite, and you finish a run and that's just it. Like maybe you get a few unlocks that come back randomly throughout your next run, but like you're just done, and then you
Yeah.
start over. And so the feeling of disappointment in having lost a run of that versus losing a run in Hades is much different, because Hades still feels like you're playing the game. One Step
Yes.
from Eden and other roguelites feels like, okay, I played the game and I'm done, and now I need to start over. It's like playing Pac-Man.
That's a great way to put it. And I think the way, like you said, the way they developed it and built the story into dying and the world development every time, because every time you go back, it is different, right? Like there's different character interactions. There may be, based on your progress, like a new area that you're able to unlock, or like you go into that dream sequence kind of thing earlier on. I forget what triggers that, but yeah, it's really cool, and I really want to know what's going on, like almost more so than the gameplay. The gameplay is good, and if y'all spoil it for me, that's kind of cool. I'm fine with that, but like I want to know what's going on. And I heard, and I forget who told me this, it was probably Michael. Is it true that like you have to beat it 10 times to get like the real ending?
Yeah, you have to beat it a number of times. I've only beaten it like 3 times in my history of playing it. I've only done. Well, I just looked ahead. I've actually only done 27 runs, which
That's good for
feels like a
beating
low
it.
number, but I've beat it like 3 times. I actually I was playing it at the same time as Christy, and she beat it before I did, because
Really?
she played it a lot more than I did. And then I finally made it to the final boss, and she was like, "Good luck!" And she watched me, and I beat him the first try. She
Oh,
was so mad. She was so mad. But it's like when you beat it, it is like when you die and come back and you get more of the story. Every time you beat it, you get more of
okay.
that. Yeah, so that's what Tyler is saying. Every time you beat it, more of the real story is revealed.
Okay.
So there is just doing it a multiple times uh,
So you haven't
rewards
even
you.
seen the whole story then.
No,
You're
no,
still you're still going through it.
this discussion is going to get me wanting to play it some more.
Yeah.
Um, and then you can once you beat it the first time, like a lot of roguelites, it unlocks this sort of like tiered difficulty spike. So like in Slay the Spire, for example, once you do a run, you have what's called the ascension levels, which adds a layer of difficulty to your next run. Or you can go like 20, and I don't know how people beat on 20. I haven't even beaten on 1, but um, or on 0 really. But Hades is the same way, in which you like now you have these sort of modifiers that you can add that give you rewards.
Right.
But you don't. But you also don't have to do it. You can still just go through normally
So it's a
and
whole
start
risk
making
reward
stuff.
thing. And I like that. It's like when I first saw Chaos, which like is another like
Oh
every
yeah,
character design is good. Like and we can talk about some of our favorites. But I liked that. It was like, okay, I could do this. I could take this challenge and get more of the tiers or whatever, or I could go to chaos and it's I'm losing some life, but down the road I could, man, there was one that I had that was like super epic or something where it multiplied my tiers that I got by some crazy number, and that was a good run. But Yeah, they're constantly throwing little bits at you throughout to spice it up, which I appreciated.
Yeah, I went back and forth. I switched favorite weapons a few times. My first favorite weapon was just the sword that you start with, and I was like, I like this the best.
That's good.
But then I graduated to the spear. I loved the
Oh,
spear for a long time, and then my weapon currently is the bow and arrow. And there's only if you get the thing that modifies its function, because normally you have to charge it up to
right.
shoot the arrow, and that sucks. But there's a thing that you can get that will let you just fire a bunch of arrows.
I think I got that one. I've only played with that one a couple times. My favorite again is the shield. I want to say they call it the Aegis. I can't remember. Y'all let us know what is your favorite weapon. We can talk about those. But same thing with the shield. There's some because you can do that bull charge, and so
Yeah.
if you get good, you can like bull charge into a hit and then like dash away. And if you have one of the dash modifier upgrades like Poseidon's where it leaves like a puddle around the bad guys, then you can go and do your Captain America throw. I felt like that one had a lot of variety to it. Like you could do range stuff or you could get close and dirty with people.
Here's my question to anybody who's watching: is anybody's favorite weapon the gun? I hate it.
I haven't unlocked the gun yet.
It doesn't sound like you have.
I've been using my keys to unlock like perks and stuff like that.
Which weapons have you unlocked?
Not nearly as many as everyone else. Well, honestly, I found the shield and I was like, I really like this because I kept just getting my ass handed to me with all the other weapons, and then I finally got in a good rhythm with the shield. And again, having the option to be really up close and personal, but then being able to retreat and throw. God no.
Yeah, nobody likes the gun. The gun is
Now I have
terrible.
to go get the gun.
There's
Hot
also
garbage. Is it a garbage gun?
Yeah, it really is. It's like this is the one game where like having a gun is a disadvantage. But there's also like the boxing gloves, which is kind of a cool take on it. I haven't used those very much. I used the gun once, and that was enough for me.
You're like, no.
This is terrible.
I got to go back and try the spear and the bow and arrow some more. It took me a long time. I do wish there was a little bit of hand holding early on to know when you went through to the next chamber what the icons meant. Like I feel like just now, and I think I'm way under you, but I'm not far enough to. I think I'm around like 18 attempts, and I've only gotten to like the Minotaur and Elysia, so I'm still. But I just found out about God mode, so that really helped. But where was I going with that? What was I saying?
I don't know.
I don't know what I was saying.
You're talking about
the icons. Like
yeah,
it took me a long time, and I'm just now figuring out. Oh, this icon means that I'm going to get more life. This icon means I'm going to go to Charon. This icon means I'm going to. I guess the fruit icon upgrades your, not your perk. What does he call them? Your boons to the next level. So I do wish there would have been like a little bit of hand holding on that, but I see why they didn't do it also.
The only thing that I never use, and I just never even bothered to really figure out using, are the calls. Yeah, so if somebody wants to explain those to me, I just never used them. I never really felt like I needed to.
They explained it, and then I totally forgot about it. And then like I don't even pay attention to that meter down there, and I never take any of those boons that upgrade the call.
Yeah. No, I use the cast. I like to upgrade the cast, but the call is just something I just never use.
I don't use that either. I like using deflect a lot. That helps me whenever I get one of those boons. It'll help me deflect stuff.
Now, the game does make you learn things the hard way, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But a couple of instances where I definitely had to learn things the hard way. The first one being where you have those like It's not the dual ones, but there's something else. You go into a room and it actually makes you fight, pits the two gods against each other, and then you have to like fight them or fight one of them or something. It was like,
What am I doing here?
I was like, oh no, this is what? Why have I chosen this? And I'd never do that again. But whenever you get like those duo boons, those are fun. So Tyler says the calls are kind of like ultimates. Your god bar fills, and you get a special ability a lot. Aren't that fancy, but certain ones can be super strong. Yeah, I just maybe one day I'll do a run where I just like focus on those and really try to learn how they work. But
So Tyler, I want to know, has anyone actually beaten it 10 times that's watching? I never used the cast.
oh, Tyler, the deflect dash deflect is incredible.
Gotta have that.
It's almost overpowered, and because it deflects shots like right back to people, and it just made me think of my least favorite enemies, which are in Elysium, which are the little pink ball things that sprout flies or whatever they are that just like swarm the screen. Those things are the worst. And then, so you said you made it to the bull.
I made it to the Minotaur, and then that's been my best run so far.
That's not even the end of Elysium.
I know. I really failed this time. Just with everything else we have going on.
The bosses in Elysium were probably my biggest roadblock. Was the final boss in Elysium.
The Minotaur handed it to me. I felt like I was in a really good place when I went into him. Like I had another revive left, and then he just beat the shit out of me. So Tyler's got 4. Adam, you got 3.
I have 3.
How many times? So Christy's beaten this, right?
I think she's only beaten it once.
She's beaten it once. Okay. Oh man, 10 times.
That's a lot of times.
That's a lot of times. I'm really intrigued in it, but like y'all know me, we all have such a deep backlog that I just don't know if I can put it in. Also, I've been playing handheld, and I found that, okay, I got to get off handheld and get my Pro Controller out, but I'm too lazy to go dock the Switch downstairs and play it. But I can definitely feel like hand crampage after a couple runs.
This was the game that made me buy that.
Do you have? Is it the A? What is it? Power A?
No, it's not. It's not Power A. It's This is the thing that it's like one of those phone mounts for the Pro Controller. It's like you put your Switch in there. It has the Pro Controller. I forgot what it's called. But this is the game that made me buy that, so I could use the Pro Controller while playing handheld. I also have the Hori grips.
Yeah,
the Hori Pro Controller like Joy-Con.
What do you think of that?
Those are great. The only bad thing is
it makes your Switch like 4 feet wide, but
it does. But it doesn't have vibration, and it doesn't have an accelerometer in it. You can't do motion, and you can't feel the vibrations. But but it is like if you want like a full on like what it feels like to have a Pro Controller on either side. If you don't care about vibration and
if you're just go for it.
It feels good.
Michael's endorsing it.
Yeah,
I've seen those. I've been really intrigued because I don't necessarily have to have. I think we've become so desensitized to some of the motion, but like the rumble packs. Like I've almost become desensitized to it now because it's such a prevalent feature in all gaming controllers, where it's like not like the first time you played Star Fox 64 and you're like, it's got rumble.
Yeah, but the Hori grips are very nice if you want that like more robust, first of all, grip, and also the more robust thumbsticks. The joysticks are and it's got a better D-pad than the Pro Controller, because the Pro Controller's D-pad is garbage. And I hate it, and I wish it wasn't garbage, because I sure would like to have a nice D-pad on my Pro Controller so I could play Tetris with it.
Yeah, I've had some issues using it with Celeste, and Rachel said her joystick broke on her Pro controller.
Oh no,
sucks.
They're really using that thing.
Send it back to Nintendo. They're good about fixing stuff.
Yeah, I just got my Joy-Con on there right now.
So Tyler asked, the real question isn't if you've beaten it 10 times, but have you unlocked fishing? No.
I have unlocked fishing.
Not unlocked fishing. Is it as good as the fishing in Link's Awakening for Game Boy or Switch? I love that fishing mini game.
I wouldn't exactly call it a mini game.
Is it not?
It's more like fishing in Animal Crossing.
Oh, okay. So you see a little dot, and then you wait for the bobber to go bloop.
Get a notification and you push a button, I think.
Y'all know what I'm talking about if you've played Link's Awakening. Fishing is the real end game.
It's not even like that Stardew Valley fishing that has like a little thing that goes up and down. You try to keep the fish.
I have not played that because I'm scared that I would get into it.
It's a real fear. I've lost much of my wife to Stardew Valley over the years. She is very into that, but she was really into Hades too. And
I think that's fantastic. I love that Christy got in. When she said that the other day, I was like, really? You were playing it? She's like, I love that game.
She loves Hades. So yeah, she only beat it once. I don't remember what her favorite weapon is. I could probably text her and ask her. I'll text her.
Text Christy.
Ask her. She's just in the other room. But
I was half expecting her to jump on the discussion with you.
What was your favorite Hades weapon? Because she's definitely not watching.
Oh no, Talia would never ever watch us talk about this.
But yeah, I was when Tyler, you asked what my favorite boon was, and I was kind of struggling because it's been a minute. But then you mentioned the deflect, and I was like, oh,
deflect's tight, especially when it gets really hairy with a lot of magicians or like the skeleton hydra, and it keeps shooting purple things at you. Definitely a must. If you have it going into Meg, that is so great. But I suck when I don't have that going into Meg.
Meg is no problem for me now.
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where it's
did you fight any of her sisters?
I haven't fought her sisters. I've heard about her sisters, but I have not fought the other Furies.
Yeah, they harder.
They harder.
There are certain parts of the game that I don't like just like things throughout the game, like when you're in the fiery lava land and you get to that barge. Hate the barge.
I've only gotten to the barge once, and again, I'm guessing these are all random encounters, but I only got to the barge once. Definitely got my ass handed to me, but all the other times I fight the Gorgon heads or whatever.
The Gorgon heads. Oh yeah. I very rarely fight those. I always get on the barge.
Huh. Sometimes you fight all three Furies at once.
Oh yeah, those are the good times.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, the game likes to mix it up. You're not always gonna, it's randomly generated, obviously, or procedurally generated, or whatever they call it. You never really notice though. Like, oh, this run feels different. It just is.
It's the flow. You're flowing through,
and it's really more about the choices that you make. The levels themselves obviously might be laid out a little bit differently. There's like certain sort of room types, but it's really all about the sort of random decisions that you have to make once you're finished with a room, and you have to go through either a door or a set of doors, and you got to pick one and say, all right, well, do I want the pomegranate or do I want Poseidon?
I do like Poseidon stuff. I still don't know. I still don't know what everyone gives me, but that I'm getting into it now, where I'm like, okay, this means the trident means I'm going to go to Poseidon when I beat this chamber. Then I'll get one of these boons.
Yeah, this is a true comment. Is what also the RNG of which boons are available to you can also work against you, as much as it can kind of break the game too if you get really lucky. But yeah, you just kind of go through it and you're like, this is dumb. I don't like this. I don't like this. and I've definitely had some of those runs.
Whenever can't talk. Whenever I'm on one of those, I'll try to focus on getting more keys or getting more. I don't even know what they are. They're like the multicolored crystal things that allow you to go to the architects to construct more things. So if I'm having a crappy run, that's what I'll focus on is tiers or some kind of collectible that'll allow me to unlock something more.
Yeah, the worst is when you start building for something specific and then just stop getting boons related to it. Oh, yeah, that happens in like every roguelite that I play, where you're going through Slay the Spire and you're like, I'm gonna do a poison run. Like, yeah, I got a couple of poison cards, and then it just stops. And you're like, well, now I have kind of a poison deck and
I'm screwed.
Else.
So Adam, I think you were saying like this would be like if you introduce someone to roguelites, this would be the game. Is that true?
I think that's true. It depends. It depends. So like I see a lot of people commenting on like threads that they don't like roguelites because they like to maintain their progress. And like when you're talking about roguelike, the hardcore like sort of spin-off of Rogue, we're talking about like the FTLs of the world. That's like a hard reset where like you don't get anything afterwards. You just got to do it again. But roguelites like Hades, there's a meta progression in a lot of those games that I would say you could do a run, but it's not usually not for nothing.
Yeah,
you can still upgrade. Hades is a good one because it disguises it more. Like it feels less like you're starting over and more just like it's a soft reset because you're learning more about the world and you are getting rewarded for starting over. So I would say it's a good introduction. But then you have games like, I keep talking about Slay the Spire because that is actually my most played game on the Switch right now, which is a dungeon crawling deck builder for those of you who have not played it. And you start over. There are certain cards that you can unlock, but there's not a lot. Once you unlock them, then you're basically starting from nothing. But that's a good one too because it's more like you're playing kind of a card game than you are like an action or RPG or something like that.
I haven't played much of the genre. I own Slay the Spire, and I think I opened it. Maybe I played it once or twice, but I would agree. I think this is a good entry level. That's where I do think some of the hand holding at first, that maybe you could turn on or turn off, but how would you know? Just going into it fresh with like, I have no idea what this icon looks cooler than that icon. I'll go this way. Eventually it teaches you. The only other real roguelite that I've played that I really actually love, and I wish it would come to Switch, but I don't think it ever will, is called Pathway. And that's I think I streamed it once. It's the real-time like grid-based strategy game. It's a pixel art game based on like an Indiana Jones adventure. So you're picking a party of, I think, 3 characters, and you're going through an adventure. But that one actually keeps track of your character's progress. So each adventure that you take, you are leveling up your characters and getting a gear to go into the next one. So I really liked Pathway. If you look it up, I think you can get it on Epic Store or maybe even Steam, but it's really cool. If you played Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, you will much appreciate some of the homages, including character of Indy voicing some stuff. But yeah, I would definitely introduce someone, especially if they're action oriented. If you struggle with action games, sometimes like I do, because I just don't play them often anymore. Thank God for God Mode.
Yeah, I mean, they are sort of inherently designed to be lost a lot. Like you can't just start up a roguelite and beat it your first run. You're just not equipped to do so, and the odds are against you because it's meant to be played. Some people sort of criticize the genre as like, well, you're making a short game and trying to make it a longer game. but it's really just a short game. Like if you think about Hades, it's like what, like 12 levels or something. Like uh, it doesn't take. You can do a run in like 45 minutes or an hour. Like that could theoretically be the game, but because you have to make your way through incrementally, it makes a much longer game out of it. Let's see how many hours I have in Hades on the Switch. 25. That's actually not a lot. I thought I had a whole lot more.
So that's a pretty good average though for the amount of runs. I'll have to look mine up. I think if we were all commuting more, or I mean, obviously where we are regionally, we don't do like a daily train commute or anything, but like if I were commuting daily, this is a perfect commuter game to just be like, I'm gonna get a run in on the bus or on the subway or what BU. Obviously, you're not driving, hopefully, and trying to take down Hades. But yeah, it is. It's a great game to just pick up, try to do a run really quick. If it sucks, it sucks. You can put it down and you come back to it. So I do appreciate that. There's not a lot of that. Okay, I put this game down, and you run into the Bethesda thing where you've got 40 different quests, and you're like, what the heck is even going on in the storyline? Okay, I've got a main quest. I don't know. I guess I'll go here, and it takes you 3 more hours to kind of figure out where you were in Fallout or Skyrim, which is where I inevitably end up in those games.
Same. But yeah, that's the great thing about roguelites is that you can just kind of do a run here and there. Some are longer than others, but if I were to to compare Hades to something like sort of championed games in the genre, like you have like Dead Cells or Binding of Isaac, for example. Like Dead Cells is like a Metroidvania platformy kind of deal. No story really at all. There is sort of meta progression in that you unlock weapons and things that you can use on later runs if you get them. But Hades again, like takes it, Dead Cells is really smooth to play, but Hades just ups the bar there, and I'm grateful for it.
Well, I think again, going back to whoever Supergiant is employing in their art department,
for real,
it is gorgeous, and I fully expect, like, if we if 2020 were a normal year with Comic-Cons and gaming conventions, you would have totally seen a crap ton of Hades cosplays. Not that you won't in the future, but
oh my gosh.
But
you gotta be good looking to cosplay.
Yeah, Zagreus is he's a looker, but I don't know if you could cosplay as someone, who would you? Sexy gods are sexy. That's right.
Everybody in this game is sexy.
You know who?
Even Dusa.
Dusa's so cute. She's like, I'm gonna go clean again.
She disappears into the ceiling.
You know who I really like? It's a simple character design, but when you look at him closely, I really like Skelly's character design, because when you look at his tongue's a coin. They're all, I mean, they're stunning, and I wish I had my case up here, but the physical Switch copy comes with, that's a great thing about all these more indie studios, is when you get with some of these limited run games, they come with a physical instruction book. This one, the instruction book is, I mean, and they're so cute. It's like a little tiny little golden book. This one's just character art. So it just shows all the different character portraits in the little book. It's super cool. And you get a free soundtrack download.
That's awesome. Yeah, the character art, even in like in-game form, not even just like their little pictures, is amazing.
Yeah.
They all have such vibrant personalities, and the voice acting is fantastic.
It really is. I have no. Usually, I'll kind of pick that apart, and this one's I can't say anything about
I
it.
want whatever sort of voice filter they put on Hades' voice. What is that sound? Are you whistling through your nose or something? What was it?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I like the chaos filter. That's pretty creepy.
Hey, Joe's here. What's up, Joe?
Where's Joe? Yeah, Rachel in the little book, so cute. Yeah, so Rachel, if you buy any of the limited runs or super epic rare, I don't know. There's so many limited run companies now. You can message me if you want a full list of all the things that I buy. But yeah, they usually like Wander Song. When I got Wander Song, it comes with this super cute little doodle book that's from the artist that but yeah. And y'all know one of our first games that came up for vote when we were voting on these was Transistor. And
It
that one
was.
I've got a physical copy and it comes with a cool little book too.
But the eShop sale though, you get it for like $2.
Well, that's the kicker. So if you buy a physical copy, I mean, I'm gonna go to the eShop right now. Oh no, it'll close my run. Not that I'm doing well, but yeah, I'll usually God, y'all, not to get off Hades for a second, but this game when it hit physical, like the prices, people were paying like $20 more because it was going out of stock so fast. So people were paying stupid money for the physical release. They've since restocked, but this generation of gaming is just insane with the price hikes on certain games.
So I have Christy's favorite weapons. She is like the same. She copied me. She says sword, spear, or bow.
Okay. Thank you, Christy, for participating. She did. She doesn't have any original ideas.
She doesn't.
You share one brain.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah. I don't have a lot of physical. I probably should. You know, I get it. Why physical is better to have. I can get the perks. It's just so convenient to be able to like just have it on here.
Just pick it up. I get it.
But yeah, Hades. I'm glad that you finally made it to the Hades Club because
I did. And I'm gonna okay. Just like we talk in book discussions, am I going to read on or am I going to carry on the series? I want to beat it, but I don't know if I can beat it 10 times strong. I like the game and I want to know more, but it's almost like because the backlog is real, I want to beat it once and then I would not have any shame just kind of going on YouTube and being like, "Oh cool, that happens and that happens and that happens." Yeah, Joe, I get it. Physical, you got to wait for those releases, but again, my backlog is so deep that's when I buy games now, I just buy them and keep them sealed until I actually go to play it. And now the crazy thing is, by the time I spent $30 on a limited run copy of something, and then you turn around 6 months later and they're selling for $100, which is just insane. It's so crazy right now.
The Hades Club does sound like a cool speakeasy.
That does sound like a cool speakeasy, Joe. We should.
Yeah, the certain weapons upgrade that Tyler's talking about. That's what I'm talking about with the bow, where you can forego the whole charging mechanic and just.
I gotta try that out. That sounds like the archer in Gauntlet when you get when you upgrade your archer to where she's just like badass archer. I want to go to the Hades Club. Man, imagine like the real Hades Club. If you had like,
I would not be good looking enough to get into the Hades Club.
Well, that aside, like if you took the art aesthetic from this game and actually put it into a physical club, that would be so cool.
That's true.
It would cost a lot of money, but yeah.
Tyler, I would love to see if that was an upgrade, but I don't want to play with the gun. To see what kind of upgrades there are for the gun. Like, I'm sure there's somebody out there who likes to be contrarian and they're like, I love the gun. It's my favorite weapon. So can you just shut up?
I did like the kind of achievement based stuff. So like your writing desk in your room, how, okay, you hit these certain things and that unlocks an actual achievement that actually grants you something in the game other than a pointless trophy or gamer score. I liked that aspect. I haven't unlocked a bunch of them, but I guess it's like your Nook miles, right, Adam?
Oh, okay. You've been playing Animal Crossing.
Gabe, my son, he's like, Daddy, I have a surprise for you. And I was like, what is it? He's like, I made you a house in Animal Crossing. I was like, okay, now I have to play Animal Crossing. We had a good time. I caught a ghost the other night. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
I
bitter. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I wanted to like Animal Crossing so much more than I
Yeah,
did.
I was bitter about Animal Crossing because I used to actually play the 3DS one
Yeah, the
kind of a
3DS one
lot,
was so
and
good.
then the kids, I think they took out my cartridge or something or switched it, and they erased my town, and I got kind of bitter about Animal Crossing in general. And it was really good. It was Lucasia, it's like Lucas IA Lucasia, and it was a really nice town. And then they're like, "We've been playing Animal Crossing." I was like, "Cool, let me play my town." And it's like, "You don't have a town anymore, Daddy." I was like, "Oh, I don't like Animal Crossing anymore."
Yeah, 3DS Animal Crossing was great.
It was good.
Now we're talking about Animal Crossing, but this.
Yeah, sorry, that's okay.
Yeah, we
Sidetrack.
talking about Animal Crossing. Yeah, the Switch Animal Crossing. I've seen people have like 700, 800 hours in Animal Crossing, and I just how is there that much to do?
Well, you
You just
can do
gotta
it.
you just gotta get used to you have like a routine in Animal Crossing. That's where you get to. It's like, all right, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna water the things, I'm gonna go, dig for the money rock, I'm gonna go to Nook's store and see what's there, I'm gonna go fishing, it's like it's routine.
At least there's enough stuff in these latter games to actually warrant that. Because I bought into Animal Crossing on GameCube when the game came prepackaged with a memory card because you had to have your own dedicated memory card for it, and you ran out of stuff to do very quick. Like you started to time travel in that one for sure.
Yeah, I didn't do time traveling.
Yeah.
The Animal Crossing also drip fed unlocks,
Mm.
which is annoying.
Although Gabe showed me something cool, they have warp pipes now with all the Mario updates, so you can add warp pipes in your town to be able to warp to certain locations. So I
Yeah, I
thought that was
saw
kind of
that.
cool.
See, this was me, but way earlier than hundreds of hours. It became a chore. Like I was like, all right, I gotta log in and do my
Yeah,
this, do my this, and just
I
check out. You're just checking off a bunch of boxes.
that's
It's like a to-do list.
that's the inevitable cycle of that game for everybody, and I just feel like people's break points are just different. But my kids hit the same thing. We got it for them during quarantine. It was like, yeah, fine. Like they're stuck inside. Let's let them play Animal Crossing, and then inevitably, my daughter was like, I don't care, Gabe. Let's just destroy the town. I was like, you better not. I was like, because she had like 3 million bells or something and all these items. I was like, you better not just delete that town. So we got a friend to like, they dropped off all their items and then picked them back up so Gabe could have all that money. Yeah, it's too much. It's too much.
But unlike Hades,
Unlike Hades, back to
how do
Hades.
we compare Animal Crossing to Hades?
It was Tom Nook. It was the writing desk it was the Nook Miles equation. It was my fault.
Yeah,
It's the
but as a
writing desk
game,
achievements.
Animal Crossing and Hades are pretty similar.
They are. You can
In
never
that
really beat it, or you kind of can, but
they're
there is no
both
story in Animal Crossing.
kind of isometric. No,
No.
Animal Crossing is just 3D, but no similarities at all between fishing.
Fishing
Nope. Yes,
and
fishing.
Nook
Fishing
Miles
is the is the
is
similarity there. But Hades, the Supergiant Games studied what roguelikes are and found some flaws in the genre and said, how are we going to fix those flaws? And they did a really good job. They showed me what the potential of roguelike, not roguelike, roguelite storytelling was, and it's just so good. It's just such a good game. It's just a good game.
So their artist is Gen Z. That's her name. Jenzee. Um, I
There
don't
it
know.
is. That's
I'm looking at their website. They have a super small team. Like if this is everyone on their team, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Like this is like a 25 person team if this is everyone on their website, which is just insane. Good on them, man. I hope they made a
Well, I
shit
think
ton
after
of
this
money off
game,
of
they'll be
this.
able to hire more people.
Yeah.
I think that they did. I think this game was very much a success for them because everybody's still talking about it. We're talking about it right now. It's not even like in Hades' heyday.
Yeah, when does let me see. I gotta see Hades.
Didn't they just win a Dice Award for Game of the Year or something like that?
Yeah. Let's see when it released. Let's go to the Wikipedia here. September. It's September 17th. So yeah, so 6 months, no, way more than 6 months. Almost, we're coming up on, I can't math, 9 months. Yeah.
You know what? What's been 9 months?
Since the game released.
Oh.
Yeah.
Really? It was that soon? That was that recent. Feels like it's been forever.
Yeah, 10th annual New York Game Awards, best in game, best music, best writing, best acting.
The music isn't even really that memorable to me.
It's not, but
somebody was just in love with that game.
Yeah, the 24th annual Dice Awards. It also, it won Game of the Year, 2021 British Academy Game Awards, Dice Awards, and the Gaming Awards, which must be it's a British online LGBTQ video game magazine.
Hey, Hades for everybody. And like everybody's so sexy in Hades that I'm like, you know what? Yeah.
Game on.
Yeah. But it's just a fantastic game, and they did such a good job. There's a whole lot of love put into this game, you can tell.
So Adam, does it make you, now that you've beat it, and yeah, you may go on, does it make you want to go back and explore their other games more? Because you maybe you're like, I underestimated this studio.
Yeah, I definitely want to try their other games. I don't know if I ever underestimated them because they were never really on my radar. Like Bastion and Transistor were just sort of names that I heard.
Right.
They were just, like I knew they were games. But doing my research on this game and seeing threads that people talk about, like Supergiant Games basically hits a home run every time. I'm like, whoa. It's not often for a studio to have that kind of track record. So
yeah,
they got something special. They know what they're doing. Like even good game developers have bad games. Music, anybody? I feel like that was a Miyamoto special there, but but just it's that kind of like and I hate to use this comparison because I'm not the biggest fan of this person, but Quentin Tarantino and Christopher Nolan, for example, like they don't make movies very often, but when they do, they're usually like
right.
For their this sort of thing is they're always like, and say what you will about Tenet. I haven't seen it, but I've heard not so good things about it. Sorry, Christopher Nolan. Maybe should have did not. But usually when you hear about directors like that, like it's like they don't. It's a while between movies that they make, but every time they come out with one, it's gonna have
it's a to do. Yeah.
So Supergiant Games, I feel like is in that category. It's sort of in hindsight for me. Is it like they don't make a lot of games, but when they do, it's gonna be it's something you should notice.
Yeah, I feel like Bastion got the most push. Transistor was a little bit under the radar. Like it's got a great art style, but then I had never even heard of Pyre. Yeah, and Joe says Bastion's still one of my favorites. Wasn't the best game of all time, but it's different than anything. Yeah, and it was on the iPhone, so that I think that was a lot of you could play it on iOS. Transistor's pretty good, great too.
But it's almost like like Hades is their masterpiece right now, like, or is it possible to even go back? Like, can you play Transistor or Bastion after playing Hades and get the same like feel goods?
I was interested in Transistor for the world because I much prefer a sci-fi feel than like a fantasy feel.
Yeah.
So the art direction is really cool, and I liked the gameplay when I was playing it. And I think what I would like about Transistor a little bit over Hades is just it's one complete thought. It's one through line. you play through and you beat the game. Instead of the repetition, which is not bad repetition by any means, but it's just a different. It's a traditional video game.
He says Hades was definitely something that built upon was done well in their previous games, and I can see that being the case. And we're talking about the world of Transistor versus like Bastion being sci-fi versus a more fantasy. The world of Hades. There's like I feel like there's a lot of games that take place in like the God realm or like the underworld or like
it's a God of War kind of thing
realms. But this felt the most accessible to me. I've played a little bit of like the God of War games, and there's another game that came out fairly recently. It's on Steam. It's like Curse of the Dead Gods or something like that. That gave me like rip off Hades vibes, but apparently that's supposed to be really good and not at all like Hades.
Was it Curse of the Dead Gods?
Curse of the let me make sure that's right. That's it. Curse of the Dead Gods. Yeah, it was like, oh, this looks just like it's trying to be Hades, but it's actually getting really good reviews. So I haven't played it. And then people also ask, is Curse of the Dead Gods like Hades? So the answer is it feels like Hades mixed with Bloodborne.
And it came out in 2021. It's got good art style. I think. I mean, Hades trumps it. Just from looking at this trailer that I'm looking at, they definitely went heavy with the cell shading style. Yeah.
So it's one of the things that I'm interested in. But like again, I don't normally play games. I am. I'm not like totally adverse to that, but if it has sort of a futuristic vibe, I'm more likely to get into it, like a futuristic sci-fi vibe. Like so, another segue. I'd already mentioned this game, One Step from Eden. Did you ever play the Mega Man Battle Network games?
I didn't. Those were all Game Boy Advance games, right?
Yeah,
they started there. I don't know. They
I never really did either, but it's like a mixture of.
Yeah, what's this game called that you were talking about?
One Step from Eden. Anybody else in the comments ever played that? I just got it because it was on sale, and I've heard good things about it. I have it on the Switch. The indie sale has taken my money for sure on the eShop. I've bought like 4 games so far, and there might be more games. The games
it's got a cool art style.
Yeah, it does, and it's a roguelite, and it's like Slay the Spire, but with action battles that you have to really pay attention to, and have like good reflexes for. And this indie game sale, I got Forager, One Step from Eden, Mutant Football League.
How is that?
Jet Lancer. Mutant Football League is. I
always wanted it on Genesis when a long time ago.
The updated Dynasty Edition version. It's
Is it stupid fun?
It is. It's okay. Much more arcadey. It's kind of like a zombified.
That's kind of all I want. Blitz. Like I don't know. I need something. I've been struggling lately because like I want to find a good game that I can play like before bed, but like I don't want anything that's
Jet Lancer. Get Jet Lancer.
Jet Lancer. Okay. But you know what I mean? Like you want to play something before bed. It's like you don't want something super action packed, but you don't want something where it's like, a total digital novel. Jet Lancer.
Jet Lancer. It's a plain game. Really short bursts though. It's got some difficulty, but like each level is like, minutes. It's like
that's got a cool. God bless y'all. In the year of 2021, when you can just go and look up a video of a video game, like when we were kids, you know how it was, Adam. You'd have one shitty little screenshot of Super Mario World, and you would drool over it for like months, and that's literally all you had to go over. That's all you had to go on, and now it's like, oh, what's that game? Oh, sure, I'll watch 17,000
full playthrough
minutes of it.
But yeah, Jet Lancer, One Step from Eden, Mutant Football League. are three of the games that I picked up on this indie sale,
Nice.
and there's a whole lot more that I want to get to. So I'm in the middle of
Yeah, what's everyone else? Go
Jet
ahead,
Lancer has been great. I've got little to no attention span these days, so it's been nice. Yeah, I've been playing all of those games. I'm kind of flip flopping between just because I got them all at the same time. And Forager also, I had mentioned Forager.
I've seen that before. I can't remember.
It's very mindless and directionless, but it's easy to kind of get sucked into. And Christy has played it for many, many hours. She's
yeah, I know that the little character's cute. Yeah, what is everyone else playing? Y'all chime in. Let us know what are you buying or what are you playing? I just bought I think I've bought every 3DS and DDS game that I want that I can afford because the prices since 2021 started have just gone insane. Insane DS prices, and like 3DS games going for $200. No, I will. Yeah. Like stuff that you could have picked up 2 years ago for $20 in a clearance rack is going for like $200. And I'm telling you, and I know I posted something about it, but like I felt sick buying a copy of Chrono Trigger on DS for $45 in December, and one of them sold for like $160 on eBay used for Chrono Trigger on DS. So the prices, like it's gotten to the point where I can't buy some of the games that I wanted because they went up threefold. Same thing with Switch, but I just picked up. It's coming. I just pre-ordered Blasphemous for Switch at Best Buy, and I pre-ordered Hotline Miami. And
the collection, or
yeah, the collection on Switch. It's the weirdest cover art ever. If you go look up Hotline Miami Switch at Best Buy, it's like this weird chicken thing. Corey, I've not shopped on Mercari yet. I mostly do Facebook Marketplace or eBay.
Rachel says she's been learning how to play Valorant recently. I've never even heard of that game.
I've heard a lot of people playing it, but I don't know what it is.
Joe bought the first three Professor Layton games.
Yes. Oh, on iOS. Those are beautifully, like, I haven't bought them on iOS, but if you want to play Professor Layton, they remastered them on iOS. They're beautiful looking.
Michael, I have seen you playing Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch, and it's one of the. So, I would like for you to convince me to get that game because, like, I played the demo and I've never really played much Monster Hunter before, and Monster Hunter, it seems dense. It seems like hard to get into, but people love that game and they put hours and hours and hours, and there's multiplayer and all this sort of crafting and upgrading, and it seems like it'd be really awesome. But I just need somebody to convince me to get into it. And like I think I need my handheld during.
I'll back that up. So James, James, he played the demo and didn't care for it, and then I think he had someone hold his hand. So Michael, maybe you need to hold Adam's hand on this one. And he texted me last night, and he's like, "I have 60 hours in Monster Hunter already." So he got deep into it.
I think it could get me if I gave it a shot. You're prone. It feels so clunky to move, and I know that's by design.
Yeah, I tried Monster, and this isn't, and I think I even talked to Michael about this. I tried Monster Hunter like a long time ago on PSP, and I felt like it was clunky, and so I just left a bad taste in my mouth.
I had it on the 3DS, and I don't think it was ever meant to be played with those controls. And PSP also, like I think
PSP is horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, you were having to, move your camera with the shoulder buttons and map too many things.
That might have been like the bad taste that I got from Monster Hunter.
I think that's me too.
But see, the slow and laggy motion, like it's not like playing Hades where you can just move around like you're moving through butter. Everything feels heavy. It feels like
and you're plotting. It's a plotting kind of game.
Super tough to get into at first, but not complicated. Huge amount of text. A lot of mechanics. A lot of like how do I know which weapon to choose? There's like 300 of them. But yeah, I want to get into it, so maybe I'll get it. And
I feel like I don't know. We all go through these waves of what can you actually wrap your mind around at that moment in your life as we get older? And I don't know what it is for me. I have way too many games. I went through and I finished all the Uncharted's.
I have games piling up because I just keep buying
This
them.
one was great. I'm selling. This was an extra copy. I actually really enjoyed this one on PS Vita because you could do like wall climbing with your finger and it would trace, and like the treasure hunting was awesome on that one.
I also there was recently a sale on Lego games on
Oh
Steam,
yeah,
and I bought 3 of them. I bought Marvel Superheroes, the first one. I
I saw
bought
you playing that the other night.
the Avengers, and I bought Lego City Undercover. And there's something about those Lego games that are
They're just simple fun.
They're simple and they're like mindless, and you just smash things. It doesn't matter which game it is; they're all the same. You just
I've heard the Undercover game's actually pretty solid. It's like a
I haven't started
GTA
that one
style. I
yet.
think I own it on Wii U. I don't know.
GTA is not my kind of game. I don't like being a criminal. I don't like doing nefarious things, but I could get into Lego stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. Love me some Lego.
There was a sale. So I've got like all the games that I just bought on Switch, the games that I'm about to buy on Switch, Monster Hunter probably, and then all the Lego games, and all of my other Steam games. Christy and I started playing through Portal 2.
Oh, it's such a good game. I need to finish that. It's such a good game. I'm really deep in, and then I just stopped, and that's my problem now. And that's the same thing. Like I got Vicky. I got super far into Horizon Zero Dawn, and then I just stopped. And now I'm worried that I've lost the touch. You know, like because you get to near the end game, and it's like, oh, I got this mapped out. Like I've got the touch, and I'm a badass. And going back to that moment, which tends to be my problem with all games, is I get right to the penultimate moment and then I stop and then I never finish the damn game. And that's Portal 2, same thing.
We're enjoying Portal 2.
It's very good. Very well done.
And I've played a little bit of it before. I've played it, but I'm getting Christy's first time playing through it. And so it's, sometimes it's a strain on our relationship, but it's like, no, put the portal there. No, you could put the portal there. You could jump to the floor and then you fly through the wall. It's one of those things. It really hurts your head.
That game definitely will make your mind flip, literally, but in such a good way. And I think that's what I need. I think I need another, because I love the story and the atmosphere that Portal 2 and Portal bring with it. But it's also casual enough. Like, I don't want to feel any consequences when I die, I guess, right now in my gaming life. Like, it's like, okay, that's fine. Rethink it and start over. But you've got enough deeper story to kind of keep pulling you along to want to figure out what happens at the end.
Like Jet Lancer. No, I'm just kidding. Jet Lancer.
Jet Lancer.
There's a story to Jet Lancer, but
is there? Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, and that's the one I've been playing on my Switch, just sort of, on my own. And also Pac-Man 99. I don't like Pac-Man. Like
Pac-Man 99.
I actually really don't like Pac-Man, but Pac-Man 99 is it's actually fun. Like,
yeah, I haven't played it yet because I just can't do those kind of games usually. But
it gets stressful.
Because they took your Mario away, right?
I'm still very upset about that.
So if y'all didn't know, it's the 35th anniversary of Mario, and on March 31st, they literally pulled the plug on Mario 35. They pulled the plug on Mario 3D All Stars. You can still find physical copies, but digital copies, they just yanked it, and they're like, Mr. Bowser. Which, I mean, how funny is it that the Nintendo president of America is named Bowser? Doug Bowser, I think. Like, he's just like, screw it.
I did. I got a physical copy.
I got a physical copy of. I'll probably. I'm really anal too about my physical copies. Like, there's some spine damage on mine, so I'll probably get another one and just like keep it sealed. Which I know.
Opened it. I opened
mine. I know it's superfluous to have 2 copies because they made an ass ton of them, but I don't know. I want a really pristine one. And if you go to Walmart, y'all, if you ever go to Walmart, they sell all their physical games $10 cheaper than. So that's another reason why I get, especially with new releases, it's like, oh, you want the new Mario Odyssey 2, it's $49 at Walmart. I don't like supporting Walmart, but I will to get cheaper games.
I'm a Nintendo fan, but they make a lot of bad decisions, and this was one of their. This is a very bad decision on their part. Like, why? I would pay money for Mario 35 to come back and for it to get the Tetris 99 treatment. Like, there's no reason why it can't have, skins. Like, why can't I, play Mario 35 in the style of Mario 2 or Mario 3?
Oh, that'd be cool.
Or Mega Man or Zelda, or like kind of like that Flash game, that Super Mario, whatever it was, where you could play as Mega Man in a Mario level. But like, give it that. Just why?
Take care of it.
It was, it had its flaws, but it was so much fun to play. And I was really good at it. I could win almost every time in Mario 35.
Well, I think David was right. It's the money. It's the FOMO. Look, FOMO is real in our world right now. Every single company is playing up the FOMO, and I think in the video game world, companies like Limited Run and all these other places, like, it is true when you boil it down that there's only going to be 3,000 or 5,000 copies of one game spread across all these gamers and future gamers. It's not a lot.
I get it with, Mario 35 is the way to get people to sign up for their little online service and pay their $20 a year. But
you got to keep supporting it. That's the thing that Nintendo always does.
They give us Pac-Man.
They'll get you hooked, but then it's like the virtual console. They get you hooked, but then it's just like, then it just dries up. Like, where are the new Nintendo and Super Nintendo games?
Yeah, Nintendo likes to do things and then not do anything with the things.
Yeah.
It's like, here's Labo. We got some cardboard for you. Done.
I did not buy into that.
And it's like they have all these ideas. Like, even the Wii Fit balance board, they were gonna we're gonna have games that support this. Or like, they released a whole feature on the Switch that I don't know if you dig through your menus, you can see it. It's like online in-game invites. Like, that isn't actually a thing that is built in, but it has to be supported by individual games. It's not like an Xbox Live type deal where you can just, where it's kind of universal. Right. And then nobody does it. Not even like Smash Brothers, not even the games that they make that have multiplayer.
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna use the Ring Fit anymore, because that's actually a really good. I say this having barely played it, but yeah, Chris, you're right. It's abandoned gimmicks, but you know what? Sometimes their gimmicks pay off huge, and I think that's how they see it. It's like, you know what?
Another Wii.
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like, let's gimmick everything. Let's throw every idea out there, and we're gonna make our money regardless. But when those gimmicks catch fire, like, they catch fire.
They do. And this one's currently catching fire, even with all of its hardware issues and its controller issues. And
I forgive it. I think it's the. If I had to pick one console to have probably forever, it's the Switch, just because they finally got their AAA titles right, and they have the support of everyone else. From the software side.
Yeah. And
I think that's partially it. People are home. They're not spending some of their disposable income outside, so they don't have qualms with overpaying for physical media at home.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and there is the rumor that they're going to release a Pro Switch, and I'm going to have to get it.
I'll totally get it.
It's like, I got this on day one, and then
it's a day one buy for me. I don't care. I because mine, my problem, and I wish I hadn't done it with the 3DS, my 3DS XL. Like, inevitably the kids get a hold of it, and like, my Switches just beat the crap. This was actually one that I bought from a friend and cleaned up. It was so, like, my screen's nasty. I wish it weren't because I don't keep my systems like that. But if they release the Pro, totally going to be mine. Like no one else touches it, and yeah, for whatever they're going to pump into it.
Yeah, I mean, I will buy whatever they put out. And,
no doubt.
I'll complain about it. Fortunately, knock on wood, I have not yet dealt with the controller drift.
That's amazing because I've got several that have it, but I've also been too lazy to like. I know how to like tweak it really fast and get over it. I've probably got one that's consistently bad, but
it's why I have the Hori Split Pro thing, and it's why I have the Pro controller grip mount thing. Is because I play handheld 100% basically, or tabletop.
Yeah, I very rarely dock.
So you know, it's I need a way to play, not on the TV. And you know what? Like now that I've had the Switch, and now that I basically either game on the Switch or Steam on my laptop, and that's basically it. It's really hard to play on the TV now.
It's a chore. You know what? Playing on the TV feels like a commitment. It feels like you're entering a relationship that you don't want to enter into. That's why it was so hard for me. That's why, honestly, it's hard for me to get on my PC. Like I'm in my office, my home office now, and like I've got my work laptop here, and I've got my gaming PC here. And by the way, if y'all haven't gotten the GOG, the Good Old Games Galaxy as your portal for your PC stuff, it is super slick. I would highly recommend it. That's how I organized all my PC games, which I look at that library and I'm like, there's no way I will ever play all this shit. But yeah, it feels playing on the TV and docking or going and playing PS4 feels like such a commitment to me that it's like, oh, it's like the date you don't really want to go on that someone set you up with.
Yeah, booting up the Xbox to me feels like sitting down to watch a bad movie. And it has nothing to do with the games. It's just that kind of a commitment.
It's a commitment for me to play PS4 or Xbox. Like I have to go downstairs. You know, it's in like the gaming area, and it feels like, okay, I'm getting enveloped by this chair, and now I have to like stare here where the Switch I can be wherever.
About my situation is that I'm sitting in the exact same place that I am playing the Switch. Like I am on my couch in front of the TV, but for some reason, getting my Xbox controller out, booting up the Xbox, and playing a game on my TV, sitting this far away from it. And I don't know why. Like, that's the way we used to do it. That's the way it's always been done up until recent. But like, it's just so much harder now.
This is gonna sound super old man of me, but I'm blind, and so like I can't, like, this is my perfect vision right here. I will get it, and like this is me playing Switch like on the couch. But I'm like, oh, it's so big and bright and pretty now, and I can see it so much better. And I feel like when I'm removed those 4 or 5 feet, like I feel like I lose so much clarity, which I don't know. That's
true. It's something about
my walker.
Some about, yeah. I mean, I feel like I lose clarity, and there, I played some of our Game Club games on the TV. I played Wander Song and Hollow Knight and anything that I could get on the Xbox Game Pass on the TV, but it's just not the way to play anymore. And it used to be the only way to play, is you had to have it hooked up to a TV. But and I do have a portable monitor, not a monitor. It's like, yeah, it's a portable screen that you can hook up.
But that feels like a chore too, probably, right?
It's less of a chore because I have my little TV tray, and I just put it really is like a tablet sized. It's not like a computer monitor, but it's like a tablet sized thing that folds up in its little case, and you prop it up. It's just like having a bigger. Oh yeah, Tyler, you wait for that Shadowcast that you can play Switch on your computer. But I have that little portable monitor that I hook my Switch up to and put it on the TV tray, which is still maybe like a foot away from my face as opposed to 5 feet or whatever. But yeah, I don't know how we got into this. It's way past time.
Yeah, but we're just talking games, and that's what Game Club's all about, Adam.
It is.
We got
complaining about playing on our TVs. This is what you did to me, Switch. I used to play games on my TV before you. Well, now I had a 3DS and a Vita. I've always been a handheld guy.
Yeah,
I'm really big on the portables.
Those are some underloved systems, the Vita and by the way, Sony announced that they were taking all their PS3 and Vita support, online support away, and they rescinded that very quickly after the backlash. So you're still good to go. You don't have a deadline now.
This was like when they announced this, and they were like, "It's a console that you can slap on controllers to and take with you." I was like, "This is the perfect thing."
It is the perfect thing. Like I've played so many hours and hours, especially when I was traveling for work. Like I played everything handheld. Like there's very few games that I remember playing docked.
Yeah, I played Mario Odyssey docked some of the time. There's nothing that it's been a while since I've even put my Switch in the dock. I do have the Genki dock substitute, basically, or whatever they call it.
I have a nice dock. It's the Insignia dock from Best Buy. It doesn't rub up on the front of your Switch. It just sits like a nice little cradle.
Yeah, mine doesn't even, you don't even put the Switch in it. You just plug it in, and then you plug it into the. And it's basically just a big plug that has an HDMI out, a USB-C in. And,
okay.
It's a.
I agree with you, Tyler. Like those AAA games, and that's like PS4. It does feel like more of a chore. Like you do get some payoff playing on those, but it feels like it's like going into a 3-hour movie that I just don't feel like watching.
Can they compete with the martial arts game systems? Not like the Switch is underpowered compared to especially the Xbox One S or X.
And the PS5, yeah.
The PS5 significantly underpowered, but in terms of like experiences, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. Like yeah, you can get like, if you really want to play Apex Legends, you're going to want to get it on either the computer or a console or the Xbox, because the Switch version is hot garbage. But
yeah, and Kent, I saw you asking about racing sims. Like the Switch isn't your console probably for high-end racing sims. You probably want to go like PS4 or Xbox on that. Off topic, and a truly awful day.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Corey.
Oh, and if y'all didn't see, go to It's a Southern Thing. I'll plug you, Adam, and go vote for them for the Webbies, right? It's the Webbies.
Yes, we are nominated for a Webby Award in the comedy video category, and we are up against such competition as The Simpsons and The Daily Show.
Yeah,
and
it's funny because you go there to vote, and it's like Trevor Noah here and Talia. And it's like, oh shit, like that's pretty big. So y'all go vote for It's a Southern Thing and the Webbies for Adam and
for the People's Choice.
Yeah, People's Choice. And
we have the lead.
Do you really?
We are
that's
in
fantastic.
First place, but we need to maintain.
You got to keep it. When's the voting go through?
I want to say it goes through like, I can actually look it up. May something, early May.
Yeah, so y'all. Tell your friends. We need to plug that in the book club, Adam. Shameless plug. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, we got our discussion next week. We can probably let's see.
We do. So if as y'all know, Literally Wasted has been kicking it while we've been neglecting our poor little game club that we love y'all so much for joining us. So next week we've got, I wanted to say Red Rising, Red Sister, our final discussion. And we were talking after our discussion, y'all, it's coming up on 2 years of Literally Wasted in June. So
big milestone.
big milestone. Expect some announcements. I won't say anything more. Some announcements. As you know, we've been crowdsource writing a book. Some of you who are watching have been writing in that. And I'll tell y'all a secret. It's all done. I mean, it's done. It's done in a draft stage. So everyone has submitted. We're working through some edits, but that you might hear more about that leading up to June. So it's fun stuff. We've missed. I've missed the game club though, y'all.
This is fun. We should just have.
We should.
Let's just get on and say. Let's just talk about whatever, because that's.
We just have. I like that because by the time you hit 45 minutes in a game discussion, you're kind of running on fumes. It's you start talking about Tom Nook, and that's okay. But yeah.
Jet Lancer, and I can't believe we have somebody in this. Joe is also playing Jet Lancer. I didn't know anybody else was playing Jet Lancer.
Adam, once upon a time, before COVID, we started a podcast.
We need to do more of that.
I think Game Club should evolve into something more just because look, I think what I've discovered is it's hard to get everyone playing one thing all at the same time because everyone's at different stages in their gaming life, right? Like you may be feeling like you need this kind of game right now, or you just don't have the dough to go spend money on a new game, whatever it is. I don't know. I think we should get the podcast going again. We could still call it Geek Fight or call it Game Club. I don't care. We should do it.
We should do more Geek Fight though too, because that would be.
We should do. Y'all let us know.
We've been talking about doing Star Trek versus Star Wars, and I have been ready.
Yeah, you're gonna destroy me, but I mean, I'm gonna have the fans on my side.
That's okay. No, there's Star Trek people. They just don't.
There are.
They just don't announce themselves as often.
Well, we're probably gonna have to kick Brandon out because he's gonna move. But
nah, you can still do it remotely.
You can still do it remotely. But we are all officially vaccinated, so we could actually do it inside somewhere. That would be crazy. That's a weird feeling, but I kind of like this Game Club format where we just shoot the shit and talk. What are you playing? What are you buying? We can have a topic to talk about, but I don't know.
Next week, Jet Lancer.
Let's give it 2 weeks. We got a book discussion. You're going to the beach. Adam's going to the beach.
We'll be doing Literarily Wasted from the beach.
You've done that
like we
before,
did last time.
Yeah, you did that last year.
That's when we were at the beach.
You did that last year. So, well, y'all, hey, we've gone an hour and a half, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. Thanks for everybody for hopping in the conversation, and yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm gonna have to go back and look. I wasn't able to keep up with everyone's comments. I'll go back and read them, but yeah, if y'all want to see more just general geek game discussion, that's what I love.
Yeah, let's do it.
Sweet.
All right. Well, have a great night, everybody.
See y'all. Have a good one. Appreciate you joining.
Bye.